Hey guys, so with the balance patch being out for a good almost a week or so, I think we've pretty much been able to see who the strongest and weakest classes are here in Arkesia for us in the West. And I don't think it's a secret at all that Surge Deathblade is one of the strongest, if not the strongest class in the game right now. But what I have to say is that while it is an extremely strong class, it's still a class that has an extremely high ceiling, but an extremely low floor. I cannot count the number of Deathblades that I've seen in my parties that really haven't been doing remarkable DPS at all. And there have only been a few Deathblades that I've seen where I'm like, wow, this person is doing absolutely insane damage. And that made me really think about balance in Lost Ark and what I think about balance. And also opening up the question to you guys about what you think is balance in Lost Ark. Because while Deathblade is a super strong class and probably the strongest class in the game, I think that there's a very limited number of people who could actually bring it to that level of being extremely OP. Most of the people in the game are probably going to be doing all right with it, maybe average DPS, maybe a little bit above average, but the number of people who are going to be doing an extremely high amount of damage are probably going to be fairly limited, in my opinion. And there's also going to be a number of people who really just don't do any damage on the class at all because they don't really know how to play it or can't play it well. Because Deathblade still, it remains as a class that has a very high skill ceiling, but also requires you to understand the flow of a boss fight to be able to dish out maximum damage. If a boss is phasing constantly and you're holding your surges for the max stacks and it phases at a point where you're like, oh shoot, I need to let out my surge, then you're losing out on a ton of DPS. So it really is a class that requires somebody to play very well in order to reap the results. Kind of like Eosophis, right? I think Eosophis is another perfect example of this, a class that requires you to understand the boss's fight, the mechanics of the boss really well, the flow of the boss really well, understand the DPS of your party really well, in order to really know when to go into Hype 3 and maximize your damage. And if not, if you're just an average player or even below average player, your DPS is going to be suffering a ton. And I really wonder if this is something that we want in the game. Is this something that people want to be the case in the game? Are we okay with classes being super strong, but they just have a really high ceiling? Let's say all the S tiers were like that, right? Is that something that we want in the game? Or do we want there to be accessible S tiers for more of your casual players to be able to play and do well with? Kind of like a Predator Slayer at the moment, right? Predator Slayer is a very easy class to play, but at the same time, it's also extremely strong and provides a lot of utility. Do you think that that's healthy for the game or not healthy for the game? Do you think that we should have a game where every S tier is a very high ceiling character, but also high skill ceiling as well? I don't know the answer to that. For me, I think that there should be a healthy mix of both, and I really don't mind if there are classes that are extremely strong but also require a lot of skill. Like, I don't mind that Deathblade is one of the strongest class right now because it really is super hard to play it, but I don't think that that's an opinion that everybody shares. But again, let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this. Do you think that this is a direction that Lost Ark should go into, or do you think that just nerf all the super OP classes regardless if they're hard to play or not? Let me know down in the comment section down below. But as always, if you enjoyed the video, remember, leave a like, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and as always, I stream every night on twitch.tv/misoxshiro starting at 10 p.m. PST, as well as multi-streaming on YouTube. So you can catch me on both platforms, so hopefully I'll see you there. And if I don't, hopefully I'll see y'all on the next video. All right, guys, peace out.